Hey folks, and welcome to another video of mine. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the latest Assassin's Creed crossover stories. Now, since I've already covered the Odyssey part of this crossover, I'm going to be talking about Valhalla and how it further extends Kassandra's story in this DLC here in Valhalla. For the Assassin's Creed Valhalla crossover story, titled A Fated Encounter, players must have reached settlement level 4 and completed the quest A Wise Friend, where Eivor helps Valka establish herself in Ravensthorpe. Now, before I move any further, please note that there are going to be spoilers ahead. With that said, let's get started. You start the DLC by talking to a friend of Valka who is having trouble in a new area on the map called the Isle of Skye. Valka shares a vision of a woman in braids, most likely Randvi, and tells Eivor that he will have to confront the woman, only to part ways in the end. Eivor is obviously curious to find out if it's actually Randvi that Valka was talking about, so he sets sail for the Isle of Skye with this friend of Valka. This is basically where the adventures of Eivor begins in this free DLC. The Isle of Skye? Well, it's a beautiful place, and this game, just like Odyssey, looks brilliant on the PlayStation 5. I was playing the PlayStation 5 version of this game, and by the way, I still prefer the world of ancient Greece over England, and I still believe that the scale and the size of Greece is comparatively bigger. But I can't deny that in terms of visual fidelity, this game shines on the PlayStation 5. The foliage, the landscape, the vegetation, lighting, all are breathtakingly good. You can even hop on your horse, or cat in this case, and ride around this beautiful map. I mean, this DLC map is pretty, and it's filled with flowers, so it's actually a great place to even just walk around peacefully and kind of enjoy the views, I guess. Eivor happens to come across this woman who Valka mentioned, only to find out it's not Randvi, but our very own Kassandra. What basically started out in Odyssey's story continues on in Valhalla. Kassandra is delegated by Aletheia to collect Isu artifacts, especially the Apple of Eden, and a search for the artifact has brought her here to the Isle of Skye. This is where our heroes confront one another for the first time. And this encounter between our heroes treats us to basically what is perhaps one of the coolest cutscenes I've seen in Assassin's Creed games lately. Both our heroes are equally matched, and they both fight with flair and style. And once they are done with all the fighting and the talking, it becomes clear to both of them that they can actually work together to overcome this issue that the people of this isle are facing. At the end of a lengthy but a very cool cutscene, they finally decide to partner and help one another in this search for the artifact which is wreaking havoc on the people of the Isle of Skye. And the cutscene clearly shows how serious Ubisoft was, or rather is, with this DLC, just like the one in Odyssey. Once our heroes decide to set their differences and work together, the mission structure is very, very linear. Collect 5 shards from across the map so that you can open a gate and access the Isu artifact. The rest of the story mission has you move around these 5 points across the map, and it's quite easy to find all the shards and piece them together. The final mission also has a bit of a puzzle element involved, with the whole move the lights to open the gate kind of a thing going, but it's all quite easy and nothing too challenging. The focus, just like the DLC in Odyssey, is on the narrative element and not improving or introducing something new to the overall gameplay. Once you complete the story, it's time for the heroes to celebrate together. And what better way to celebrate than to gulp down huge jars of mead? This is where Kassandra parts ways with Eivor, and the DLC basically comes to an end. And that pretty much sums up the narrative part of the DLC. Very straightforward, very simple. When it comes to the combat mechanics, again like Odyssey, nothing has changed. It's the same old, same old. You also have some new skills that you can upgrade in the skill tree, but that's pretty much it. Oh, by the way, there are some very cool links between the previous DLC in Odyssey and this one in Valhalla. For example, the spear of Leonidas, which Kassandra gave to Herodotus, is found by Eivor in one of the treasure chests here in this game. It's a cool way to link both the stories. What's also cool is the banter between Kassandra and Eivor. It sometimes feels like a buddy cop movie, and even the playtime of this DLC is very much like a movie. I played through all of it in less than 3 hours, and given that it's a free DLC, it's quite decent given the quality of content on offer. Plus, if you take both Odyssey and Valhalla together, then you can squeeze out a little over 6 hours of gameplay perhaps, and that's overall, that is. There's some paid games that I've played in the past which had that kind of game time, like 6 to 7 hours. You guys remember Star Wars Force Unleashed, the second part, the sequel that is. It was extremely short, and that was a paid game. Now this is a free DLC. So you have to give points to Ubisoft to offer us this kind of content for free. But what I'm really excited about is where Ubisoft is taking the franchisee. They are trying to connect Kassandra to all Assassin's Creed games, and that's actually quite a smart move. Not because I'm biased towards Kassandra, but also because it ties the plot of all the games quite well. Overall, I was really happy with the DLC, and I will definitely recommend this to all of you. In fact, I highly recommend you try both the DLCs. Chronologically, I will suggest that you play Odyssey's DLC first, as it will give you context as to why Kassandra is doing what she's doing here in Valhalla's DLC. And the narrative will make more sense if you play it in that order. Both the adventures are quite enjoyable, even if they are played separately on its own. Now, stay connected with me by hitting that like and subscribe button, folks. Also hit that bell icon in case you want to get notified about all my latest videos. Also, do comment and let me know which DLC did you like more. That's it for this video, folks. That's a wrap for this one. I will see you again in the next one. Until then, take care, stay safe, and may God bless you all.